ኦኬ ወደ ተማሪዎች እንኳን ወደ አልይ ሳይንስ ዩቲዩብ ቻናል በሰላም መጣችሁ ዛሬም ኬሚስትሪ ኢንትራንስ ኤግዛም የ2017 ወይ ደግሞ የ2025 ለ12ኛ ክፍል ተሰጥቶ የነበረው ኢንትራንስ ኤግዛም ከነመልሳቸው እንደዛው ከነ ኤክስፕላኔሽን ከ41 እስከ 60 ያሉትን ጥያቄዎች ቲዩቶሪያል ፓርት 3 በአማሪክ ይዤ ቀርባለሁ so our tutorials on chemistry entrance exam of 2017 or 2025 that are given for grade 12 with answer and also with explanation question from 41 up to 60 2025 chemistry Ethiopian University entrance exam tutorial part 3 in Amharic so don't forget ይሄን ቪዲዮ የሚታዩበት ጊዜ ማርሳት ለሌለባችሁ ነገር ምንድነው VPN ወይ ደግሞ ሳይፎን ከፍታችሁ ማለት እንዳትረሱ ምክንያቱም VPN ወይ ደግሞ ሳይፎን ከፍታችሁ ካያችሁ ጥሩ ኳሊቲ ያለው በደንብ ጥርት ብሎ የሚታይ ቪዲዮ ስለምታገኙ VPN ወይ ደግሞ ሳይፎን በማክፈት እንድታዩ በአክብሮት ጠይቃችኋለሁ እንደዛውም ይሄንን ቪዲዮ ላይክ በማድረግ አልይ ሳይንስ ዩቲዩብ ቻናል ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ አልይ ሳይንስ ዩቲዩብ ቻናል ቤተሰብ መሆኑን እንዳትረሱ አልይ ሳይንስ ዩቲዩብ ቻናል ላይክ ሰብስክራይብ ካደረጋችሁ እኔ የምለቁት ነገር ቶሎ እናንተ ጋር ስለሚደርስ ላይክ ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ አልይ ሳይንስ ዩቲዩብ ቻናል ቤተሰብ እንድትሆኑ በአክብሮት ጠይቃችኋለሁ so let us start our tutorial on chemistry entrance exam question from 41 up to 60 with answer and with explanation so let us start question number 41 which of the following properties is the property of an acidic oxide an acidic oxide react with which one ከመከተሉት ባህሪያት የአሲዲክ ኦክሳይድ ባህሪ የሆነው የትኛ ነው ይለናል acidic oxide react የሚያደርገው የከየቱ ጋር ነው ይለናል so that should be a water to form acid means that an acidic oxide react with water to form acid means that acid oxide are typically non-metal oxide like carbon dioxide sulfur dioxide nitrogen dioxide that react with water to produce acid for example sulfur dioxide react with water to form sulfurous acid thus forms sulfurous acid showing acid nature of sulfur dioxide when we look at other options or when we look at option B salt to form acid this is acid oxide does not react with salt this in this way and also when we see option C oxide basic oxide to form hydroxide and water acidic oxide may react with basic oxide but they form salt not hydroxides and also when we see option D bases to form basic hydroxide and water acid oxide react with bases to form salts and water not basic hydroxide so that will be perfectly A question number 42 what is the name given to an acid that dissociates or ionizes only slightly extent in aqueous solution ከመከተሉት የአሲድ አሲዶች በትንሹ aqueous solutions በትንሹ የሚማሙ slightly dissolve የሚሆኑ ስም የሚሰጣቸው ምን ተብሎ ስማቸው ምን ይባላል ይላል so that should be D weak acid means that weak acid የምንላቸው so aqueous solutions በትንሹ ነው ማለት ነው partially ionized ይሆኑና that means small fractions of its molecule release hydrogen ions the rest remain intact in the solution example acetic acid and carbonic acid only partially ionized in aqueous solution so that is perfectly D when we look option A B C they are incorrect why strong acid are completely ionized in water and also a dilute acid refers to low concentration not ionization strength and also when we see option C concentrated acid refers to high concentration against not ionization strength question number 43 solution can be classified based upon the pH values what is the solution whose pH value 13 ከመከተንተን solution pH value እናከፋፍላቸዋለን ስለዚህ ሶሉሽን pH 13 ከሆነ ይሄ ምን ተብሎ ይጠራ ሶሉሽኑ ምን ተብሎ ይጠራል ይላል so that should be C basic solution means that basicዎች pH value scale ላይ ዲፔንድ በመሆን እናከፋፍላለን ስለዚህ pH scale ያለው ሬንጅ ከ0 እስከ 14 ነው ከ0 እስከ 6 ያሉ acidic solution ይባላሉ ከ7 ላይ ብቻ ያለው pure water ነው neutral ነው ማለት ነው ከ8 እስከ 14 ያሉት ምን ይባላሉ ቤዚክ ወይ አልካላይን ብለን እንጠራለን ማለት ነው ስለዚህ ሶሉሽን with pH 13 ጋራ 13 ያለው strongly basic ይባላል ማለት ነው ምክንያቱም አሲዶችን ስናይ ከ6 ወደ 0 ሲነድበት pH ከ6 ወደ 0 የሚሄድበት ጊዜ ስትሪንግዙ አሲዲኩ እየጨመረ ይሄዳል ማለት ነው የቢዞች ግን ተቃራኒ ነው ከ8 ወደ 14 ሲነድ እየጨመረ ቤዚክ ስትሪንግዙ እየጨመረ ይሄዳል ማለት ነው ስለዚህ 14 ያለው ቤዚክ pH 14 ቢሆን ለምሳሌ በጣም strongly ነው ማለት ነው the most strong base ነው ማለት ነው 13ቱም strong ነው ግን less than 14 ነው ስለዚህ ሌላው ደግሞ amphoteric substance የምንላቸው እንደ ቤዝም እንደ አሲድም react የሚያደርግ substance ነው ማለት ነው so the answer should be C the pH value with 30 is basic solution question number 44 during laboratory class a student placed clean water in a beaker and added piece of calcium metal using tones. After the reaction is completed, he or she tested the solution using red litmus paper. Which of the following is observed? ስለዚህ አንድ ተማሪ በላቦራቶሪ ጊዜ ክሊን የሆነ ውሃ ውስጥ ቢከር ውስጥ ከጨመረ በኋላ a piece of calcium metal በማንካ ከጨመረበት ሪአክሽኑ ኮምፕሊትድ ከሆነ በኋላ ሶሉሽኑ ሬድ ሊትመስ ምን ጨምርበት ከሆነ ሶሉሽኑ ውስጥ ያ ተማሪው ከዚህ ሶሉሽን ሬድ ሊትመስ ፔፐሩ ምን ሆኖ ይታያል ምን ሆኖ ነው የሚያወለናል so that should be the litmus paper turns to blue ይሄ ለምን ሆነ ካልሲየም ሜታል ውሃ ውስጥ ስንጨምር it reacts with calcium hydroxide ይፈጥራል ማለት ነው ስለዚህ ሃይድሮጅን ጋስም ይለቃል ስለዚህ በዚህ ጊዜ ካልሲየም ሃይድሮክሳይድ ስትሮንግ ቤዝ ስለሆነ ስለዚህ ቤዞች ምን ያደርጋሉ ሬድ ሊትመስ ፔፐሩን ወደ ብሉ ከለር ብሉ ብላክ ወደ ብሉ ቤዚክ ሶሉሽን ስለሆነ ሬድ ሊትመሱ ወደ ብሉ ከለር ይቀይራሉ ማለት ነው ስለዚህ መልሱ በትክክል ቢ ነው ማለት ነው ኢንኮሬክት ቾይስ ስናይ ተርን ቱ ሬድ ሲሆን አይሆንም ማለት ነው ምክንያቱም ወደ ቀይ የሚቀይርበት አሲድ ሶሉሽን ውስጥ ነው ማለት ነው ቤዚክ ሶሉሽን ውስጥ አይደለም እንደዛውም ወደ ከለርለስ የሚቀየረው ሊትመስ ፔፐሩ በጭራሽ ወደ ከለርለስ ስለማይቀየር ይሄ ትክክል አይደለም ማለት ነው ማንቴንስ ኢትስ ከለር የሚለው ይሄም ትክክል አይደለም ማለት ነው ይሄ ማንቴንስ ወደ ባለበት ከለር የሚቀራው ሶሉሽኑ ኒውትራል ሲሆን ብቻ ነው ማለት ነው ስለዚህ ይሄም አይደለም ማለት ነው ስለዚህ መልሱ በትክክል ቢ ነው ማለት ነው question number 45 which of the following statement correctly describe the relationship among wavelengths frequency and speed in electromagnetic radiation ከሚከተሉት አረፍተ ነገሮች በትክክል wavelengths frequency እና speed in electromagnetic radiation ውስጥ ያላቸው ሪሌሽን በትክክል የwavelengths frequency እና speed electromagnetic radiation ውስጥ ያላቸው ሪሌሽን በትክክል የገለጸው ምርጫ የትኛው ነው ይለናል so that should be A as the wavelengths decrease frequency increase means that electromagnetic radiation follow the relationship that speed of light equal to lambda wavelength times frequency when c is speed of light which is constant in vacuum and l is wavelength or lambda v is frequency so since speed of light is constant wavelength and the frequency is inversely related means that if wavelength decrease frequency increase where if wavelength increase frequency decrease so they are inversely related so that should be A when we see incorrect choice as wavelength increase frequency decrease because they are inversely related so option B is not correct and also when we look option C as frequency increase the speed of light remain constant in vacuum it is not decreasing and also when you see option D as wavelength decrease speed of light increase this is also false because speed of light doesn't depend on wavelength because it is constant in vacuum so that should be perfectly A question number 46 which of the following organic compound has highest boiling point ከሚከተሉት organic compounds ከፍተኛ boiling point ያለው የትኛ ነው ይለናል so that should be B ethanol means that ethanol has the highest boiling point which is 78 degrees Celsius. Ethanol is, which is carbon to hydrogen 5 OH, contains hydroxyl group, which allows it to form strong hydrogen bonds between its molecules. Hydrogen bonding significantly increases the boiling point compared to another compound of similar molecular weights. So we can look each one by one. For example, if we look ethene, it is boiling point is negative 100 degrees Celsius, which is very weakest one. And also when we look option B, ethene, alkyne, if we see ethane, it is alkaline. Its type is alkaline. It is also have intermolecular force, weak van der Waals, which is also boiling point is negative 89. And also when we look ethanol, it is aldehyde, so it have intermolecular force that called dipole-dipole interaction, which is 21 degrees Celsius. And also when we look ethanol, it is a type is alcohol and also having intermolecular force that is hydrogen bonding. Its boiling point is 78 degrees Celsius. So when we look each one by one, ethanol is the highest than others when we look at their boiling point, and ethene is the lowest, negative 104 means it is the negative 104 ማለት በጣም ከሁሉም ዝቅተኛ ነው ማለት ነው። ኤታኖል ግን 78 ዲግሪ ሴልሺየስ ስለሆነ ከሁሉም ይበልጣል ማለት ነው። ሶ አሁን እንዳልነው ኤሲ ዲ ላይ ያሉ ኢቴን እና ኢታናል ያላቸው ቦይሊንግ ፖይንት በጣም ከኢታኖል ጋራ አነጻጽረን ስናይ በጣም ትንሽ ነው ማለት ነው። የኢታኖል በጣም ከፍተኛ 78 ዲግሪ ሴልሺየስ ስለሆነ በጣም ከፍተኛ ነው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ መልሳችን በትክክል ቢ ኢታኖል has highest boiling point. Question number 47. Question number 47. What is a Lewis base? It is. Lewis base ማለት ምን ማለት ነው? So Lewis base is, so that should be C, electron pair donor. Means that Lewis base is a substance that donate an electron pairs to form a covalent bond. ስለዚህ Lewis base የምንላቸው ሰብስታንሶች ኤሌክትሮን ፔር ዶኔት የሚያደርጉና ኮቫለንት ቦንድ የሚፈጥሩ ናቸው ማለት ነው። This definition comes from Lewis acid base theory, which focus on the movement of electron not proton. So for common example, ammonia donate a lone pair of hydrogen ion. Hydroxyl ion is also donate electron to form bonds. So that you perfectly see. And when we see other options that are incorrect options, option A, proton acceptor, that is Bronsted Lowry base, not specifically Lewis base. And also when we look option B, proton donor, that is a Bronsted Lowry acid, electron not Lewis base. And also when we see option D, electron pair acceptor, that is defined Lewis acid, the counterpart to Lewis base. So that you perfectly see. Question number 48. Given the following information, ከታች የተዘረዘሩ ኢንፎርሜሽን ተሰጥቶናል። which of the following expression represent percent ionization of acetic acid? Acetic acid percent ionization የገለጸው ከመከተሉት የትኛው ነው ይላል። ስለዚህ እዚህ ላይ የምናየው ምንድነው only አንድ ብቻ ነው የተሰጠነው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ኢኩሊብሪየም ኮንሰንትሬሽን x ተሰጥቶናል። እንደዚህ ኢኒሻል ኮንሰንትሬሽን ደግሞ 0.2 ተሰጥቶናል ማለት ነው። እዚህ ላይ ቆመን ነው የምንሰራው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ መልሳችን A ነው የሚሆነው። x over 0.2 times 100% ነው የሚሆነው ማለት ነው። So percent ionization is what? The ratio of concentration of ionized acid or base to initial concentration of acid or base multiplied by 100. So percent ionization is equal to what? Concentration of ionized acid, which is acetate. Acetic acid is changed to acetate. And also initial concentration of that of acid. So from the given table, concentration of ionized acid represented by hydrogen ion or acetate at equilibrium X. Again, the initial concentration of acetic acid is 0.2 mole per liter, no? So ionization is equal to x over 0.2 times 100% ነው የሚሆነው ማለት ነው ስለዚህ መልሳችን በትክክል A ነው ማለት ነው question number 49 Scandium has electron configuration argon plus 4s2 3d1 to which group element does it belong to Scandium ያለው electron configuration argon 4s2 እና 3d1 ከሆነ ይሄ ኤሌመንት የትኛ ግሩፕ ላይና የትኛ ግሩፕ ኤሌመንት ውስጥ ይገኛል የትኛ ግሩፕ ኤሌመንት ውስጥ ይገኛል ወይ ደግሞ የሚገኘው ይለናል so that should be a transition element እንዴት መጣ ብለው ስናይ Scandium has what electron configuration argon 4s2 3d1 which means that electrons in d orbital ስለዚህ የሚገኘው d orbital ውስጥ ነው ማለት ነው this is the defining feature of transition element የሚገልጽ ባህሪ ነው ማለት ነው which are partially filled d orbitals in their atoms or ions so this element located in 3 group in periodic table and also it found in 3d block and exhibit the transition metal property like forming colored compound and variable oxidation state and also when we look at the options B, C, D, representative element this found in S or P blocks, group 1, 2 to group 30, group 30 to 80, not that is found in group D block. And also when we see option C, nonmetals, Scandium is a metal, so it is not nonmetal. And also when option D, inner transition element, this is the F block element, like lactanidis and actinidis, and so Scandium is not one of them, so that should be perfectly A. Question number 50. A student carried out an experiment to determine the melting point of sodium chloride and copper chloride. He or she added 0.2 gram of sodium chloride and copper chloride into 2 different test tubes and heating both tubes simultaneously using Bunsen burner. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the melting point of sodium chloride and copper chloride? ስለዚህ አንድ ተማሪ ኤክስፔሪመንት ውስጥ ኤክስፔሪመንት ላብራቶሪ ኤክስፔሪመንት ሲሰራ የሶዲየም ክሎራይድ እና ኮፐር ክሎራይድ ሜልቲንግ ፖይንት ለማወቅ ከፈለገ ስለዚህ 0.2 የሁለቱም 0.2 ግራም የሶዲየም ክሎራይድ እና ኮፐር ክሎራይድ ቴስቱ በየለብቻ ቴስቱ ውስጥ ከጨመረ ከዛ በየለብቻ ሁለቱም ሳይመልተነስሊ አንድ ጊዜ ፐንሰን በርነር ላይ የማሞቅ ከሆነ ከመከተሉ አራት ነገሮች ስለዚህ ሜልቲንግ ፖይንት ስለ ሶዲየም ክሎራይድ እና ኮፐር ክሎራይድ ሜልቲንግ ፖይንት ትክክለኛ የሆነ አራት ነገር የትኛው ነው ይለናል so that should be A. The melting point of sodium chloride is higher than that of copper chloride. Means that the sodium chloride has what melting point that about 801 degrees Celsius, and the copper chloride has melting point around 489. So this means that sodium chloride requires significantly more heat to melt compared to copper chloride. So the both are heated simultaneously with Bunsen burner. Copper chloride will melt first, and sodium chloride may not melt at all under typical lab condition. So that should be perfectly A. The melting point of sodium chloride is higher than that of copper chloride. When we look in correct options, B. Sodium chloride melts lower than copper chloride, so that is false because it's actually higher. So sodium chloride higher than that of copper chloride, and also when both will not melt, this is incorrect because copper chloride can melt with Bunsen burner, and also when we look option D, both melt at the same time. That is not true because copper chloride melt first, then sodium chloride may need additional heating more than lab condition. So that should be perfectly A. Question number 51. Consider the molecular structure of carbon oxygen chlorine shown in which is known as Fusion. So which one of the following represents which of the following predict bond angles? Chloride, carbon, oxygen, and chloride, carbon, chloride. So which can be represent this one? So that should be C, chloride, carbon, oxygen, which is less than 120 degree, and chlorine, carbon, chlorine is greater than 100 degree. And here አሁን እዚህ ላይ የተሰጠነው ምንድነው? የፖስጂን has what trigonal planar allo geometry around central carbon atom due to sp2 hybridization ስላለው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ እዚህ ላይ ideally all bonds are what መጀመሪያ ሁሉም ቦንዶች ያላቸው 120 ዲግሪ ነው። but due to difference in electronegativity እና bond repulsion የተለያዩ ስላላቸው slight difference ይኖራቸዋል ማለት ነው። so oxygen is more electronegative than chloride ስለሆነ pulling electron density more strongly and compressing. Chlorine, carbon, oxygen angle is slightly below 100 degree Celsius and degree. And again, when we look, this compression angle cause chlorine, carbon, chlorine angle to expand slightly, making above 100 degree. That was greater than chlorine, carbon, oxygen. So that should perfectly see chlorine, carbon, oxygen is less than 100 degrees Celsius, and chlorine, carbon, chlorine is greater than 120 degree. So that should perfectly see. Question number 52. What is the cause of unusual high boiling point of hydrogen fluoride, water, and ammonia? ስለዚህ unusual boiling point የሃይድሮጂን ፍሎራይድ የወተር እና የአሞኒያ ከፍተኛ boiling point እንዲኖራቸው የሚያደርገው unusually ምንድነው? ምን ስላላቸው ነው ለናል? So that should be D, hydrogen bonding. Means that hydrogen bonding causes high boiling points because it creates strong intermolecular interactions that requires more energy to break when substance transitions from liquid to gas. So hydrogen fluoride, water, ammonia all exhibit hydrogen bonding, particularly strong type of intermolecular force that occurs when hydrogen is bonded to highly electronegative atoms like fluorine, oxygen, and nitrogen. So each molecule can form up 4 hydrogen bond, making its boiling point usually high to such small molecules. And also when we look hydrogen fluoride, strong hydrogen bonding between hydrogen molecules due to fluorine's high electronegativity. And also when we see option when we look ammonia, it forms hydrogen bonding via nitrogen so further than water. These strong interactions requires more energy or heat to break, resulting in higher boiling point compared to molecules of similar size and masses. So that should perfectly D, due to hydrogen bonding. Question number 53. Which statement below describe correctly the assumptions in kinetic theory of gases? ከመከተሉ አረፍተ ነገሮች ስለ ጋዞች kinetic theory assumption በትክክል የገለጸው የትኛው ነው ለናል? So that should be A, gas molecules are in random motion with no interactions. Means that gas molecules are what? Gas molecules are in constant random motion. Means that collision between molecules and containers walls are perfectly elastic, and there are no intermolecular force, meaning they no interactions between gas particles. So intermolecular force የለም ማለት interaction መሃል gas መሃል የጋሶች ፓርቲክል መሃል interaction የለም ማለት ነው። So the volume of individual gas molecules as negligible compared to the container, and average kinetic energy of the gas molecules is directly proportional to temperature in Kelvin. And also when we look option B, C, D, the gas molecules occupy the definite volume and having infinite shape. This describes liquid or real gases, not ideal gases under kinetic theory. And also when we look option C, average kinetic energies are independent of amount of gas. That is misleading, while kinetic energy per molecules depend on temperature and the kinetic theory depend on the number of molecules. So this is also not correct. And also when we see option D, average kinetic energy are independent of temperature, that's also incorrect, because temperature is the key factor that determine average kinetic energy. So that's perfectly A. Question number 54. If the rate of diffusion of a certain unknown gas is half times the rate of diffusion of helium, what will be the molar mass of unknown gas? Atomic mass of helium is equal to 4 gram per mole. ስለዚህ የአንድ የማናውቀው የጋስ ዲፉዥን ሬቱ half of diffusion of helium ከሆነ የሂሊየም ዲፉዥን ግማሽ ከሆነ የዚህ የማናውቀው unknown gas ሞላር ማሱ ስንት ይሆናል? የአቶሚክ ማሱ የሂሊየም 4 ግራም ፐር ሞል ከሆነ የማናውቀው ሞላር ማስ ኦፍ unknown gas ስንት ይሆናል ነው እንላል። so that should be D 60 gram per mole. እንዴት መጣ የሚለው ስናይ to solve this question we use Gram's law of diffusion, which says that rate of diffusion 1 over the rate of diffusion 2 gas 2 is equal to the molar mass of gas 1 divided by the molar mass of gas 2, that is under square root. So that should be D. እንዴት መጣ ብለን ስናይ እንደዚህ በዚህ ፎርሙላ ነው የምንሰራው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ rate of unknown gas is equal to half that is helium, so which means rate of unknown gas divided by rate of helium is equal to 1 over 2. ይሄ ተሰጥቶናል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ molar mass of helium 4 ግራም per mole የሚል ተሰጥቶናል። ስለዚህ ይሄን ወደ ፎርሙላ ማስገባት ነው ማለት ነው። አንድ ሁለተኛ እኩል ይሆናል under the square root of 4 over molar mass of unknown gas ብለን ነው የምንሰራው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ both side square ስናደርግ 1 over 4 equal to 4 over molar mass of unknown gas ብለን እንነዳለን ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ በዚህ መሰረት molar mass of unknown gas is equal to 4 times 4 ይሆናል ክሮስ ስናደርግ ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ 16 ግራም per mole ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ መልሳችን በትክክል D ነው ማለት ነው። Question number 55. A student added boiling chips into a beaker of water while carrying out an activity to determine the boiling point of water. Why do you think the boiling chips are necessary? And ተማሪ የፈላው ቺፕስ ውሃ ቢከር ውስጥ ያለው ቢከር ውስጥ ይጨምራል። ስለዚህ ይሄ ተማሪ የውሃ ቦይሊንግ ፖይንት ለማወቅ ነው ይሄን አክቲቪቲ የተጠቀመው። ስለዚህ ይሄ ተማሪ ለምንድነው ቦይሊንግ ቺፕስን እዛውስት ለመጨመር ያሰበው? ለምን አስፈላጊነቱ ምንድነው? ምን ለማወቅ ነው ይለናል። so that should be B, to ensure a smooth rate of evaporation. ስለዚህ ቀስ በቀስ ውሃው እንዲተን ለማወቅ ነው ማለት ነው። ሲተን ስለዚህ ሜጀር ለማድረግ ነው ማለት ነው። so boiling chips also called boiling stones are porous. ስለዚህ እዛ ውስጥ ተጨምረው በጣም የጋለ ድንጋይ ነው። ስለዚህ የጋለ በጣም የሞቀ ድንጋይ ውሃ ቢከር ያለው ውሃ ውስጥ ጨምር ውሃ ቀስ በቀስ ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? evaporate ማድረግ ይጀምራል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ይሄ ምንድነው የሚያሳየው? boiling chips also called boiling stones are porous materials that provide nucleations site for bubbles formation during boiling. These chips prevent what? Superheating and bumping, which can cause sudden and violent boiling. They promote steady and controlled boiling by allowing vapor bubbles to form more easily. Without them, liquid can superheat and boil explosively, which is both unsafe and inaccurate for measurement like boiling point. ስለዚህ ቀስ በቀስ ውሃው እንዲቦቅና evaporate እንዲያደርግ ነው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ይሄ boiling chips ጥቅሙ አንዱ ምንድነው? ቀስ በቀስና ኮንትሮልድ በሆነ ቦይሊንግ ውሃው evaporate እንዲሆንና bubbles በትንሹ እንዲፈጥር ያደርጋል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ በአንድ ወደ ላይ እንዳይተና ያደርጋል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ባልሳችን በትክክል B ነው ማለት ነው። when you look option A, C, D, to speed up evaporation, this boiling chips increase the rate of evaporation, does not increase the rate of evaporation, they stabilize boiling. And also when we see option C, they do not reduce energy needed to boil water. And also when we see option D, that is controlled by external condition, not boiling chips. So that should perfectly be. Question number 56. What is the oxidation number of manganese in manganese oxidate? Potassium manganese. ስለዚህ ይሄንን ኮምፓውንድ ውስጥ የኦክሲዴሽን ነምበር ኦፍ manganese ስንት ነው ይለናል። So that should be D7. እንዴት ይመጣ ቢለውን ስናይ to determine the number of manganese in this compound, let us break down one by one. So potassium always have positive 1, oxygen is negative 2, and the manganese is, we have no, so let us call it X. So the compound is neutral, so the sum of oxidation number is equal must be 0. So compound neutral ስለሆነ የነሱ oxidation number ተደምሮ 0 መሆን ነበረበት ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ 1 plus K potassium plus manganese X plus 4 of oxygen, that gives 0. So 1 plus X plus 4 times negative 2 is equal to 0. Means that 1 plus X minus 8 is equal to 0. This we can derive from X minus 7 is equal to 0. So X is equal to positive 7. So the manganese has oxidation number of positive 7 in this compound. So that should perfectly D. Question number 57. 2-methyl 1-butene is one of the isomer of carbon 5H10. Which of the following correct structural formula for this isomer? ስለዚህ 2-methyl 2-butene ያለው isomer carbon 5 እና hydrogen 10 ከሆነ ከሚከተሉት structure formula በትክክል የዚያ isomer ሊሆን የሚችለው የትኛ ነው ይላል። So that should be A ነው ማለት ነው። 2-methyl 1-butene. So 2-methyl 1-butene is a branched alkenes with a molecular formula carbon 5 hydrogen 10. Here is how name can be break down. Butene is a 4-carbon chain with double bond. 1-butene means that double bond is started at carbon number 1. 2-methyl means a methyl group is attached at carbon number 2 of the main chain. So the structure is look like this one. So that is perfectly A. When we look option B, it represents 3-methyl 1-butene. When we see option C, pentene 2-ene, and also when we see option D, 2-methyl 2-butene. So that is perfectly A. That is incorrect. Question number 58. Which of the following organic compound is used for production of 1,2-ethane diol? ከሚከተሉት ኦርጋኒክ ኮምፓውንዶች 1,2-ethane diol ለማምረት ፕሮዲዩስ ለማድረግ የምንጠቀመው የትኛው ኮምፓውንድ ነው ይለናል። So that should be B, ethene. Means that 1,2-ethane diol, also known as ethylene glycol, is commonly produced from ethene through 2-step industrial process. ስለዚህ 1,2-ethane diol ethylene glycol ተብሎ ይታወቃል። ስለዚህ ይሄንን ለማምረት ethene በሁለት ስቴፕ ኢንዱስትሪያል ፕሮሰስ ነው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ የመጀመሪያው ethene is oxidized ወደ ethylene oxide oxidized ይሆናል። ከዛ ethylene oxide ደግሞ ከዛ hydrolyzed በመሆን ethene glycol ወደ ethylene glycol ይቀየራል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ማሳችን በትክክል ቢ ነው ማለት ነው። ወይ ኦፕሽን ሌሎችን ኦፕሽን ስናይ ethene saturated carbon ስለሆነ ስለዚህ ይሄ not reactive enough for the synthesis. And also when we see option C, ethanol is already contains one OH group but not used industrially to make ethylene glycol. And also when we see option D, ethylene triple bond alkyne, it is not preferred route for producing diols. So that will perfectly be ethene is used as an organic compound that is used for production of 1,2-ethane diol. Question number 59. Which of the following is the main constituent of natural gas? ከሚከተሉት ዋናው የናቹራል ጋዝ main constituent የሆነው የትኛው ነው ይላል። So that should be C, methane. Means that natural gas is primarily composed of methane, which is typically make up 70 to 90% of its volume. Methane is simplest hydrocarbon consisting of 1 carbon atom and 4 hydrogen atoms. It is colorless, odorless, and highly flammable, making it an efficient fuel source. When we look at other options, butane found in liquefied petroleum gas, not dominant in natural gas. Ethane is present in a small amount in natural gas, but not a main component. Propane found in liquefied petroleum, it is not also dominant in natural gas, so that should perfectly see methane is the main constituent of natural gas. Question number 16. In order to avoid decrease in quantity of some clothes after washing with water, which of the following chemical is used for dry cleaning? ስለዚህ ልብስ ካጠብነው በኋላ ኳሊቲው እንዳይወርድ ለማከላከል የምንጠቀመው ኬሚካል ከሚከተሉት የትኛ ነው ይለናል. So that should be C, which is tetrachloroethylene or perchloroethylene. So tetrachloroethylene, also known as perchloroethylene, is the main solvent used in traditional drying cleaning. It effectively dissolves oils, greases, and other stains without using water, which helps to preserve the texture, color, and shape of delicate fabrics like silk and wood and rayon. So they can perfectly see. When we see option A, B, D, they are incorrect, because when we see option A, dichloromethane is dissolved, it is solvent used in paint staining and degreasing, but not suitable for dry cleaning due to toxicity and volatility. And also when we see option B, methane, it is flammable gas, not solvent. It is relevant for drying cleaning. And also when we see option D, ethylene, it is a gaseous hydrocarbon used in polymer production, not cleaning agent. So that should perfectly see tetrachloroethylene. Ethylene is used for body dress quality after clothes after washing with water. So that should perfectly see. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget like, subscribe, share, comment على السانسف channel. ይህንን ቪዲዮ ስላዳመጣችሁ እጅግ አድርገን ማመሰግናችሁ። ላይክ ሰብስክራይብ ሼር ያላደረጋችሁ አሁኑኑ ላይክ በማድረግ አሌክሳንስ ዩቲዩብ ቻናል ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ እኔ የሚለቁትን እናንተ ጋር ቶሎ እንዲደርስ ያድርጉ። ቀጣይ ሌላ ቱቶሪያል ፓርት 4 ከ61 እስከ 80 ያለው ጥያቄዎች ይዘት ድረስ መልካም ጊዜ ይሁንላችሁ። ታንክ ዩ ዌልካም ባክ አገን